Last February, a tsunami hit the island.
But instead of being a destructive event, it just turned out to be a minor inconvenience for many. KITV4's Paul Drews is here with the lessons we've learned. Paul?
Well, those who have lived through deadly tsunamis hope last year's minor event will be a reminder to all of us the dangers our islands face from the ocean. Hilo is bustling, full of life in its historic shops and buildings. But this big island town also has a deadly past when it comes to tsunamis.
Well, I think Hilo suffered the brunt of most of the historic tsunami events.
Last February, Hilo braced for another tsunami. Bayfront was evacuated while residents waited for the waves. While most saw no signs of last year's tsunami, here in Hilo, the Wailoa River clearly showed the waves rushing in and out. The tsunami was not destructive, but the warnings gave some survivors of past events flashbacks.
You know, when you hear the siren, that's the difficult part because then it all comes back. And we used to play there.
For Pat Koga, the 1960 tsunami trapped her and her family in their Pio Pio Street home. Her dad saw the first waves hit and rushed back to their house.
He gathered, well, my mom, myself, and my brother. And we huddled together. And he says, if we're going to go together. And chances are we're not going to make it.
Instead, the family clinging to one another left and made it to higher ground.
And the water was, for me, it was up to my neck. And I was so afraid because you never know, like there were nails and stuff and things and bars and whatever, just all over the place. It was the sound itself and the water and what have you was just something that you will never forget.
Where there was once homes and a thriving community, there is now nothing but open space. A reminder of the power of the tsunami waves for many in this oceanfront town.
The 19th tsunami destroyed my town, the place I grew up. And when I go and visit it, there's nothing there. It's just grass. Because nothing is allowed to be, there's no business allowed, no houses.
Now, survivors will share their stories again on April 17th at the Pacific Tsunami Museum in Hilo at an event called I Grew Up on Pio Pio Street. And coming up tomorrow, we'll take a closer look at the threat locally generated tsunami have for Hawaii.
You know, despite everything that they've been through, you can tell there's obviously signs that this has affected them now and into the future.
The survivors that I talk with say they'll never forget what they went through, and they hope that people won't forget what they went through because they never know when it's going to happen again. And the folks in Hilo are very prepared for this type of event, but they want everyone in the state to be equally ready.
They take it so seriously.
Lessons for all of us. All right, thanks, Paul.